Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, Geshe, Shalom.
Okay,
Welcome.
yeah.
I'm very happy to see you back with us. Thank you so much for accepting Dharma Friends of Israel request and kindly giving us this precious session. Thank you.
Thank you, David, and thank you, Benla, for coordinating, for going through the stress that I could not visit Israel this time, and you're bearing all the stress, and Shahala there, who is behind Benla. Thank you. And all the past, the members of DFI, Leorella, and all the other members who contributed to the establishment and to be of service to the Buddha Dharma and sentient beings, particularly the beings in Israel. I really appreciate all the efforts. And today is teaching on bodhicitta, the unconditional love for all the beings. And the preliminary prayers to be done from DFI. And then meanwhile, after this, we will do a little bit of meditation, single point of meditation. And then the teaching begins. And what I expect is questions, particularly with the bodhicitta, while the people of great sophistication in their intelligence and in their studies, of course, the manner in which they generate bodhicitta is going to be very different. But otherwise, anyone, even if one may not have the very extensive studies and so forth, still, bodhicitta is something we can practice from the beginning. As a beginner, you can still practice bodhicitta. This is something which can be practiced in a very concise way and in a very elaborate way. Both are possible. So with this in mind, the one thing for the bodhicitta is that no doubt there are going to be many questions. And I would be very happy to entertain questions, particularly related to your practical day-to-day life questions. Say, with the practice of bodhicitta, these are the challenges, and how do we practically deal with this? So these are the questions that are required. And some people in your day-to-day life, and some people in your practice, in real life practice, there's some you can be troubled with some questions. And I'll be very happy to listen to this. It doesn't mean that I have all the answers. The only thing is that these questions should not be stopped. We should not suppress these questions. All questions must be brought up and will be good, not only for you, but for everyone, including myself, everyone attending this program. We will benefit from your questions. So what is expected is that your questions are so precious. So, okay, Charu, you come from there. Sit here. Come from there. Okay, so we have the online participants. Okay, so with this in mind, David and Ben, so what is your plan for the preliminary prayers?
I can just share screen with the preliminary prayers if you would like to begin, Geshe.
And then who would say this? I begin?
You are invited to, please.
Okay. Then in which case, yes. So what we do is that we will do a proper, setting of a proper motivation, which consists of Dinzusila. Go there, no. Huh? No, what's the problem? Okay. So setting a proper motivation, which consists of 3 parts: refuge field, bodhicitta field, And the purpose of this practice. And for the refuge field, visualize all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas in the space in front of us as so loving, caring, and embracing. And for the Bodhicitta field, visualize your two kind parents and all of family members, including children, and all beings, human beings, animals, insects, hungry ghosts, hell beings, god and goddesses, everyone, leaving them aside. And the purpose of this practice is to awaken the seed of perfection within each one of us. Just imagine that you have the Buddha nature inside, we have the gold inside us, and yet this gold is mixed with the mud. And where there's a mud, the natural tendency of the gold to glow is not manifested. So for this matter, our purpose is to remove the mud so the gold will start to glow within us. And removing the mud, it requires two things. One is the proper remedy to remove the mud. And number two, the desire, the aspiration to remove the mud. So the remedy to remove the mud should be the wisdom of emptiness, and the desire, aspiration to remove the mud is the bodhicitta. And this bodhicitta, of course, must be grounded with the renunciation, the desire to get away from samsara. So with this in mind, I will recite the following verses and visualizing that all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas are with you and all sentient beings are joining us. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations for practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations for the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations for the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. In dependent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace which is freed of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, which through the knowledge of all lead hearers seeking pacification and complete peace, which through the knowledge of past causes those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and through the possession of which helps subdue and expand a variety of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata and protector, to you are my prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays, to you the Buddha make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. And I can see that most of you are already familiar with these, the mantras, prayers, and the Nalanda studies. So we'll say this together 3 times. But reflect on the meanings. And if you don't know the meanings, I would highly suggest that we learn this meaning. It's not difficult. And of course, I'll quickly explain this here. Om Ye Dharma. So this syllable, Om, some people say this, some people may not say this. It doesn't matter. And there's no point in arguing whether this is the really there. It's just pointless. It's all about, say, creating memory within us, creating a deep sense of awareness within us, the need for us to transform from the They transform our body, speech, mind, which is impure, to the state of the perfect purity of the enlightened body, speech, mind. So that reminder is brought to us by the syllable Om. Okay, I'm not going to go into detail. And then the next is how Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava. Ye Dharma, ye, these Dharma phenomena, Hetu cause, Prabhava arise. All experiences that we go through, this phenomena of the experiences that we go through, be it happiness or suffering, they don't arise randomly. They arise from their respective causes. Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava. Hetum Tesham Tathagato Hyavatat. Hetum, the plural form of cause, the causes. Tesham, these. Tathagato, the Buddha, or the one who has gone to the ultimate, the one who has gone to the thusness. Tathagato Hyavatat is taught or said. And what these causes are, particularly the causes of the miseries which we dislike. And so what these causes are is taught by the Tathagata, by the full awakened one. Tesham Chayo Nirodha. Tesham, these, Chayo is whatever of these causes responsible for creating pain, fear, anxiety, stress, depression within us, the Chayo Nirodha brought to an end. These miseries, the causes of these miseries can be brought to an end. Whatever causes of these miseries can be brought to an end. Cessation, Nirodha, cessation. Evam Vati. Evam is thus. Vati again is taught or said. Mahashramana, the great seer meaning the one who has seen all phenomena perfectly well. Yeswaha is established. So the meaning as you find in English, all phenomena arise from causes, and the implicit connotation with emphasis on the phenomena of miseries. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The causes of the miseries, these miseries that we go through, ranging from something very simple like a hunger or sadness to the very sophisticated, extremely complicated miseries where you can just go, there's a possibility for one to go mad, crazy, hysterical, paranoid. There are causes there, and these causes are not permanent. There are ways and means to terminate these causes. And once these causes are terminated, all your undesirable experiences as well will be terminated. So how to bring an end to these causes so that your miseries will be brought to an end is also taught by the great seer. Or you will say this together 3 times. And actually, when you speak of the mantra, people have a very naive understanding, naive thought that these mantras will, do some magic and then your healing will take place. No. So the main purpose of these mantras is to instill within us a transformation. What transformation? By knowing with the proper information, we can transform ourselves. So look at this meaning. So whenever I recite this mantra, every day I recite this mantra, and it's just like telling myself, talking to myself, that look, Dorji, so all your miseries, they come from the respective causes. Unless we deal with these causes, there's no way by which you can expect to have your miseries mitigated or the miseries brought to an end completely. So you have to work on these causes, get rid of these causes by applying the corresponding remedies. So as the Buddha indicated, which we should subject them to analysis, reflection, and meditation. So this is a constant reminder, and those who work hard in their studies, we can expect them to become a Nobel laureate in literature, Nobel laureate in physics, chemistry, economics, and so forth. But if you don't work just expecting miracles happen, you will never become a Nobel laureate in these areas. So the point is that this mantra is a reminder for us that we need to work on to remove the mental defilements which are responsible for creating pain in us, and then that too through identifying what the causes are, as indicated by the Buddha. So this is what should be reminded to us as we recite this mantra together. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum te sham dathagato yavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum te sham dathagato yavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum te sham dathagato yavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessational causes as well as taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration free, clear-light, and non-composite. Such is the natural dharma I have discovered. Finding no one could fathom this teaching, in silence I return to the words. Beyond our twins, thought and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. Is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas, of 3 times, I bear obeisance. The 4 C's of Buddha's teachings. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are the nature of suffering. All phenomena are the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcending soul is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of eons. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries glow. If you're attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you're attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you're attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there's grasping, you do not set the view. Okay, I will recite the Heart Sutta mantra. It should be on page 29. Okay, never mind. We can all say this. This mantra symbol is popular. Okay, good. Thank you. And this mantra, what's the benefit? How it helps us? Again, there are, let's say, unseen benefits and visible benefits. What's the real benefit that we can expect is that that we should be reminded of the possibility that our mind can be transformed from a deep state of sadness to the infinite happiness, from deep sense of anger towards the all-embracing compassion, from deep sense of ignorance and all these anger and the sadness, these things are all due to the ignorance, some form of ignorance, to the wisdom to know everything as the crystal clear as they are. So this is a reminder, and it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen with a snap of finger, then sudden magic happens. It never happens like this. It should be through your own effort, that the transformation takes place within us. So this mind should be transformed, and the mantra reads Gade Gade Para Samgade Bodhisoha, saying that our mind should be transformed in a systematic way, where we talk about the systematic transformation and it's very long time taking. In a way, you are looking for a shortcut, and the shortcut never works with the mental transformation. You may talk about the just Milarepa, the great saint who became enlightened within a single lifetime. And so there's a Tibetan expression where in the early days, like 100 years ago, Tibetan the nomads, the nomads, they take the cattle, and they take the whole household, the tent, the stove, the what, all the edibles, everything, for like 3, 4, 5 months of the ration they have to take with them from one place to the another grazing place to the another grazing place. This is the amount of the hardship that they went through, that they go through. And finally, when they enjoy the cheese, when they enjoy all the dairy products, which was so rare in those days, and then the people outside, wow, they are enjoying a lot, but we have never seen their hardships behind that. So likewise, just Milarepa. So now look at the biography. Oh, he became enlightened within a single lifetime. It looks like enjoying the result, but then the effort he put in, that amount of hardship that he went through, amount of the commitment that he built in himself, his unshakable faith in the Guru, in the Dharma, in the Sangha. And so if you look at this, you see that, are you really somebody like him to have the competency to become Buddha within a single lifetime? And how come that he came out to be such a strong person with so much resilience to go through all these without any, the turning back to a samsara? So why he becomes so special was because he put effort in the former lives. So we, given that we don't really fit ourselves in the category that he belonged to, but we can make ourselves one like him through creating the conducive factors. So what kind of the factors required? Say what we are studying now, look for a very systematic the process of transformation with your own mind. So this mantra is a reminder for us that, okay, again, Dorji, don't feel complacent. You think that you are a Dharma practitioner, you think that, you are teaching other people, and so you are Dharma, but don't remain complacent. Don't remain complacent. There are various steps. If you are in step A, you go to step B. From B, don't hold there. Go to step 3, C, D, E, F. So this is how we have to keep progressing. Gade, para, sam gade, bodhiswaha. Go. The literal meaning of this mantra, go. Go beyond. Go utterly beyond and establish your full awakening. So this is just a reminder for us. It's so good. And then some people, some of my friends, they say that in a way, there is a great merit of these people that they come to discover the reality, that particularly one of my their friends came to me one day and said that he had been so piously into the Dharma for the last many years, like 20 years, every day getting up so early, like 4 o'clock, and then engaged in the recitations, mantras, pujas, and so forth, like 3 hours every day. But after 20 years, I see that I'm just the same person without any change within my mind. And in a way, it's very sad that last 20 years is like waste. And from another side, we can see that this is a great, the unfolding or the discovery. And I said that's amazing. You have discovered it. That you did not need anybody else to tell you that you are wasting your time. So I told him that now you do one thing. You just give me a list of whatever studies, practice, puja that you've been doing, and he gave me a whole list. And then I just I deleted many of these that he was doing, and I said that, so whatever time left, for example, out of 3 hours, now I've deleted like 2 hours. So these 2 hours you have to spend for study and meditation, not just reading, reciting all the time. study and meditation. Study, reflection together, and meditation. So he was taking class almost like every day. And then two of us, we went together for the solitary retreat. And he was so joyous after the completion of 1 month. He said that this 1 month, the benefit that he could feel within his mind, 1 month practice, just 1 month practice, far excels what he did the last 20 years. So these are things that we need to keep in mind, that these mantras should not be thought of as like the magic happening to you, but rather should be real magic is where you identify that my mind needs to be transformed. Am I transforming? Is my mind transforming? If not day by day, for sure, year by year, is it really happening? This question. So this should be a reminder for us. So with this mind, we'll say this 5 times together. Deyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata 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 Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha. Okay, now we'll do 5 minutes meditation, single point meditation. And since that I can see that most of you are familiar to me, that you are already doing Dharma for the last many years, at least like 1 or 2 years. With this, I'll quickly share with you the instructions as to what is expected when you do single point of meditation. For this, the meditation in the first place, meditation, keep in mind that it is to bring about transformation in our mind from the state of ignorance to the state of wisdom, from the state of the entanglement or imprisonment to the state of total freedom of our mind. And this is not metaphorical. This is a reality that with the practice, with the correct practice, a correct and complete and systematic practice, we can expect to have a real feeling of liberation, that you feel liberated. And recently, I was invited to give series of the lectures in Chandigarh, which is about like 5.5 hours from Delhi. And the lady host and her husband, when we were having a meal together, the lady asked me, Geshe, tell me what is the real meaning of freedom? And the husband was sitting there. And I said that the real meaning of freedom is where you are not affected by any other factors. Say for example, a nasty person comes, a difficult person comes, instantly your mind feels disturbed, you're affected. Or a cheesecake comes, instantly a craving arises, you're affected. Or say a good news, you're instantly affected. Or say somebody comes to greet you on your birthday with any kind of small present. You're so happy, excited. This is, you're affected. And they say you win the Wimbledon. And then you're like crying. You're crying. And they screaming, crying. You're affected. So where you are least affected, you stop to be affected by external factors. You can feel the true, your mind feels the true nature of itself. Total freedom, not being affected by anything. The fear is gone. What is fear? That other factors can affect you undesirably. This is known as a fear. So the fear is gone, depression gone, anxiety gone, stress gone. So that is the meaning of the liberation. This is what it said. And the husband, he is extremely amazing person, extremely kind. There's a tremendous warmth there, so matured. And he said, I agree. This is the meaning of the liberation. And he added, some of the points, his own reflections. Okay, so the meditation is to liberate us, to free us. It's not about meditation is to make you become a Buddhist. No, it's to free you from your problems. And for the Buddha, if you say, what should I become? Should I become a Buddhist, or should I be liberated from my miseries? If I'm given a choice, what advice would you give? You as a Buddha give me. The Buddha will say, Buddhist, it doesn't make any sense. Liberate yourself and help others be liberated. That is your goal. And if you are a Jew, remain a good Jew. If you are a Hindu, remain a good Hindu. If you're a Muslim, remain a good Muslim. Or Christian, remain a good Christian. Or Jain, remain a good Jain. So whatever you are, remain a good person. If you're a non-believer, remain a good non-believer. Don't create problems. If you're a believer, remain a good believer. Don't create problems to the world. That is our goal. It's not to become a Buddhist. It's not to be a part of our community. No. So this is the whole purpose. So this is the meditation, to free yourself, to liberate yourself from all the ensnarement, all entanglements of samsara. This is the point. So with this, this liberation, it's not that sometimes even the people who practice the Dharma, and when they push the limit, it may come to the point that the person will suffer a sort of the anxiety, sort of depression. This is what can potentially happen to even some practitioners, genuine good practitioners, because they're pushing too hard, pushing the limit too hard. Whereas how do we know that there's a real sense of renunciation, or there's the feeling of depression? How do you distinguish the two? This is an extremely important point, where say in both cases, feeling the sense of renunciation and the going into depression, they are very similar, but there's a difference there. What is that difference? Is that with the feeling of depression, you just deep inside there's a feeling that I can go somewhere that this uneasiness will go away. If that happens, that is more like you're falling into depression. May not be acute depression, but there's a form of depression. And whereas where this feeling of uneasiness, heaviness comes to you with the practice of impermanence, the suffering nature, and emptiness and so forth. And in fact, I would say if you get the emptiness conscious so well, then this depression will not really happen. Whereas with the first and second, there's a tendency that you can slide into a little bit of heaviness, thinking about the impermanence of all composite phenomena, thinking of the shortcomings of samsara, the dukkha, the dissatisfaction, suffering of samsara. You think about it very seriously, and you see that there's heaviness sinking in you. So there will be the real feeling of renunciation is that, yes, I can feel the heaviness, but it's not that I crave to go somewhere else so that his heaviness will go away. There's no place outside the air where I can run to shirk this heaviness. So this is the very nature, that the fact that I'm in samsara means this heaviness because I'm in samsara. Wherever in samsara I go, I cannot escape from this heaviness. If that feeling comes to you, you get a deep confidence within you. Confidence that this is samsara. I'm so glad that I'm feeling this now, heaviness. And I put effort to get away from this heaviness by getting to the proper path, not getting to external pleasant place. If that feeling comes to you, this is a real, direction towards renunciation. This is so important. But for people like us, when we first go into the practice of renunciation, no doubt we are to feel some degree of heaviness. Heaviness for ordinary people without a complete understanding of the Dharma, one can potentially slide down into depression. And for those with a complete understanding of Dharma, instead of going to depression, it will turn into renunciation. So this is a difference. So with this in mind, what is meditation? Is to liberate yourself, to free yourself, to create the freedom for yourself. And then the most sophisticated version of that is to share this freedom with all the other beings, to teach others how to be liberated. So this is a full point. Now, to free yourself, you should be free from something. What is that something? That is the mental defilements. There's no external prison which is created for us. As Albert Einstein very clearly indicated, is a prison of our own mind. The prison of our own mind, which creates the division between I and you. So this division created, this division, this is what Albert Einstein very clearly indicated, and you'll be just amazed to see that what Albert Einstein said in 20th century was exactly what the Acharya Dharmakirti in 7th century taught in Pramanavartika, where he said in Tibetan, Dayo Nandi Shedushe, Dashen Chale Zindanta, Tetatani Yondele, Nyabatamje Chumbagur. Dayo Nandi Shedushe, where you can see the self of intrinsic self, you create the invariably you create the intrinsic, get the concept of intrinsic others. Where you create this division, then invariably the attachment to the self and aversion to others will arise. Associated with this, the polarization of the self and others, attachment to self, aversion towards others, this polarization will invariably create miseries for you and for the world. Okay, so look how Albert Einstein, a great thinker, a great scientist, physicist, and a great logician, Acharya Dharmakirti, a great logician, great psychologist, and the philosopher. So what he taught in 7th century is just exactly the same. Okay, then next question is, what is that misconception of the self? Misconception of self, misconception of others. So what is that? So then we take the help of Acharya Chandrakirti and then Arya Nagarjuna. Arya Nagarjuna to help us identify what exactly constitutes the misconception of the self and misconception of others. Misconceiving the self, this ignorance. There are so many layers. We are to identify the subtlest of the layer of the misconception of the self. You exterminate this and you are totally freed. Whereas if you just identify a grosser level of ignorance, to that extent, you'll be liberated, but the subtler ensnarement still remains. Subtler stress, subtler mental entanglement still remains. You're not fully liberated. So to experience or to expect total liberation, we need to cut all the levels of misconceptions. For this, we need to identify the subtlest of the ignorance and apply the subtlest of the remedy, the wisdom. So which in turn was actually taught by the Buddha himself as a part of the second turning of Wheel of Dharma, which in turn was explained by Arya Nagarjuna. And Arya Nagarjuna's text, if we were to study, we will easily get lost. Particularly his masterpiece, Mula Madhyama Karika, will get easily lost because extremely nuanced, and we may not really know what has been taught there. And then with the help of Acharya chanting this text, then Nagarjuna's text, the treasure will be revealed by the study with the help of Acharya chanting this text. So therefore, I highly recommend all of us to study Acharya chanting this text, and then from there, go to Nagarjuna's text, and from there, go to Buddha's own sutras. So with this, you will see that, then you will see your mind like watching a movie. You don't really have to go outside to watch a movie. You can just 24 hours, you can be by yourself. And in fact, during the COVID, one of my friends, he was constantly being reminded by his wife that, hey, you go to Geshe-la's place, otherwise he must be feeling bored, right? He must be feeling bored and lockdown, and nobody is going to Tibet house, and then he's also not going out. He must be feeling bored. Hey, you must go there to sometimes give company to Geshe-la. So he was so very direct, and he told me that this is what his wife constantly tells him. And I said that, to be very honest, you're my friend, you come, if okay for me, but I would rather be more happy that I'm alone by myself than people visiting me. This is what I told him. There's no way by which you can feel bored. You have so many things to do. What? So with other people, then the entertainment, real entertainment, watch your mind. It's so entertaining. Watch your mind, how the anger arises, how the craving arises, how the misconception arises, how the laziness arises, right? Oh, Dharma practice. I like to practice Dharma so well now. They say only a few years left after practice Dharma. What? Early morning, I get up. And then they take shower, then the breakfast, very quick breakfast, no like 1 hour breakfast, or very short breakfast, and again Dharma practice, and the lunch very short, Dharma practice, like 10 to 12, 15 hours planning of Dharma practice a day. And then in 2 days time, on what is that? The timetable flops, because your mind cannot run as much as what your mind anticipates. Your mind cannot work. So the mind requires training. There are so many things you can watch within your own mind. So that turning your mind toward inside, turning your mind inwardly, that requires meditation. And this meditation, as I said earlier, the whole purpose is to liberate you. It's not for you to become a Buddhist. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. It's not to become a Buddhist. It's to liberate you, liberate your family members, liberate all the beings from the acute pain, vicious pain of samsara. Liberate you from these. That's a purpose. So with this in mind, what really makes us not liberated? The problem is not outside. The problem is inside. All these great teachers like Jesus Christ, Lord Mahavir, Ram, Prophet Muhammad, Buddha, Guru Nanak, Baha'u'llah, all these great, and Bob, all these great teachers came, but external problems are still there, which means that external problems, we cannot get rid of them completely, but we can free ourselves by freeing your mind, because the problems that we encounter with, they are the product of the two factors, external factors and the internal factors. Come together, invariably the sound explodes. So this explosion of the sound is the metaphor for our miseries that we go through. And these miseries should necessarily come into being by the combination of the external factors and the internal factors. And those people who look for outside external factors, expecting to remove the external factors, these people are known as unwise people, childlike people, childish people. Whereas those people who look inwardly to think of getting rid of the internal factors, and then to stop the sound of the two hands, remove one hand, no sound. Even the external factors so strong, so forceful, so powerful, so vicious, but no sound. The sound of your misery stops. Okay, so for this, both the internal factors, they are so less in number. It's just two. External factors, the innumerable external factors are there. So the wise people will look for the internal factors and try to get rid of these. So the point is that, what is that internal factors? These internal factors are the factors which attract the miseries, which makes you not liberated, which chains you in samsara, which chains you in a problem. So what attracts, what pulls you, what drags you in samsara, these are two internal factors. Okay, so these two internal factors, if you dissect yourself, if you are put to open heart surgery, you will not see these factors there. These two factors are internal. They're mental. They're not physically visible. They're mental. What are they? Self is the number one is ignorance, and number two is the closed-mindedness. Ignorance, which distorts the reality, and a closed-mindedness, which does not allow yourself to expand. Extremely enclosed to a very small circle of thinking. These two things bind us. So with this in mind, we see that the closed-mindedness, how to free yourself from, how to break from this closed-mindedness, is by cultivating the universal compassion of bodhicitta. And this is extremely precious practice, and believe it or not. And initially you have to invest. For example, if you want to go for the expensive startup, you have to invest. You have to invest. And the investment is going to be quite huge. And don't expect the return within like 5 years, 4 years, 2 years. Don't expect that. First you invest, you lose. Only after 10 years you can expect the profit coming after that. So likewise for the bodhicitta practice, to get into this entanglement because of the narrow scope thinking, self-centered attitude. To work on this, it'll take time. We have to invest our energy and time on this, and it'll take time. If you have extensive learning, and if you are surrounded by good people, or good people meaning good environment, and your mind is also committed, then it may take you to get the feel of what the bodhicitta is. It may take you like, say in some cases, generally speaking, like 4 or 5 years, just to get the feel. I'm not talking about to generate bodhicitta. To generate bodhicitta, we never know how long it takes. But to feel that, wow, this is very different. Bodhicitta, says somebody described as a very compassionate person versus the compassion that developed out of bodhicitta practice. These two are very different. These two are very different. So say ordinarily, when you, generally speaking, you are very kind, but when you see the person extremely nasty, then you keep distance. Okay, enough is enough. But bodhicitta will never say enough is enough. Bodhicitta, however nasty that the person is, of course, you require skillfulness. You require skillfulness to make sure to what extent you should reach out, and then when to reach out, where to reach out, and so forth. We need tremendous skill. At the same time, no matter how vicious the person is, your mind will never say enough is enough, right? Let alone tit for tat, right? Even enough is will also not come from your mind. That is bodhicitta. That's extremely beautiful. Meanwhile, it's not that you are sacrificing yourself. This is not a sacrifice. This is the profit making. The greatest profit making is bodhicitta. You'll feel the tremendous joy, the confidence, joy, and the stability, the groundedness. This will all happen with the practice of bodhicitta. It's a matter of practice. So for this, we need to know how to practice it. I'm so glad that the DFI, Dhamma Friends of Israel, they made this request that the teaching be done on the topic bodhicitta, particularly the method, the equalizing and exchange method. So this practice to bring about transformation of your mind, say effectively from the very selfish person to our cherishing bodhicitta, and transform your mind from an ignorant state of the mind, misconceiving the reality, to the proper conception of the reality. That is the meditation. For that, these two meditations, these are the main. These two form and this upgradation from where you are in terms of your say the effective quality of mind, from very selfish state to say the heightened state of the other cherishing, from very ignorant state to a heightened state of the wisdom. So the upgradation happens only through analytical meditation. Only through analytical meditation. There's no divine. There's no magic. If there's a magic, analytical meditation is a magic. But this practice must be stabilized, So we also require the stability meditation in order to stabilize these transformations. The method, the means to bring about change within us, we need to stabilize these means. We need to stabilize the experience as an outcome of these means. So for that matter, we require the single point of meditation. So what we're going to do here is a quick single point of meditation. And for this, 4 points to keep in mind. One is the body posture. Number 2 is the focal point. Number 3 is identifying the errors of meditation. Number 4, applying the remedies to overcome the errors. 4 points. And the body posture, I'm not going to go into detail. They sit properly. The most important thing is that your body must be upright. It should not be bent like this. It should be upright. The body must be upright. Meanwhile, don't force yourself. Make it happen very naturally, upright. And then gradually it become a very natural state, very comfortable position if you practice it. And then another very important point is to keep your eyes not closed, eyes half open, and just ignore this. Okay, so these are 2 most important things. I'm not going to go into detail because I see that most of you are very senior. I see, for example, say like Gilala here, many years of being in Dharma, and Shahala, and of course, Leora is there. So there are many of you who are, and then yes, Yakila also there. So we see that there are many of you who are long-term practitioners. If I spend so much time on this, then I'm not doing justice to them. So number 1, body posture. Number 2 is the focal point. We're going to meditate on, and others, the seniors, you do whatever practice that you have in your mind. And for the newcomers, they just focus on your breath. Count your breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And they count the breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Together, combined together is 1 cycle. So we do for like, say, the 5 minutes. It will be, for some people, will be like 60 cycles. For younger ones, like my age, it'll be like 80, 90 cycles, because as you grow older, the breathing, even the pace of the breathing becomes faster. So the younger ones, healthier, the pace is slower. Okay. And they just count the breath. And if you lose track of the count, I can go back from 0 and count for 5 minutes. Then the next, number 3 is very important, identifying the errors of meditation. What mistakes can happen when you meditate? There are 2 mistakes. There are 2 potential mistakes. One is mental excitement, and the other one is the mental laxity. Mental excitement is the overactivity of the mind. Your mind feels distracted, scattered here and there. This is one problem. The other one is the inactivity of the mind. The mind becomes so, the mind becomes heavy, lethargic, and sinking. These are the inactive state of the mind, laxity. So meditation doesn't mean that your mind just remain, close eyes, and then, no, this is not meditation. Meditation is an extremely active state of mind where you are observing whatever object meditation you should be focusing on. You should be observing so intently. Physically, you may see that you are just in a very calm, passive state, but mentally you are so active, being so intent on the object meditation. Now, if these 2 errors do happen, what should we do? No need to freak. Go for the remedies. What are the remedies? 2 remedies: introspection and mindfulness. Introspection is to once in a while keep an eye on your own mind to see how how well you succeed in your practice. And if you do see that you fall into one of these 2 problems, then apply the mindfulness. Bring the mind back to the intended object of the meditation. Okay, ready? 5 minutes. Okay, thank you. Okay, so basically we have 4 sessions for Bodhicitta teaching. And what we'll do is that the first, the explanation of the Bodhicitta, and alongside we're going to also include chapter 8, the second half of chapter 8 of Guided Bodhisattva of Life. Given that that is the second half of in the first place, chapter 8, the title of the chapter 8 is meditation. And out of the 6 perfections, it is a meditation or the meditative concentration. And some people think that it has nothing to do with bodhicitta. It's just how to meditate. No, that's not true. So Bodhisattva Shantideva is explaining chapter 8. He split that into 2 halves. First from verse the chapter 8, verse 1 through to verse 89 is all about how to create a conducive factors for your meditation. Then from the verse 90 till the end of chapter 8 is about what to meditate on. What to meditate on. Once you create the conducive factors, then the Bodhisattva Shantideva said that what to meditate on. So here then you do the meditation on equalizing the self and others to generate bodhicitta. So this is how he split the chapter 8 into 2 halves. This is also what we're going to do. And then then finally what is expected is that after learning, this is to bring about conviction within us. And so sometimes we learn things, but we don't really apply. Where are we going wrong? And this is something that we really need to work on. While some people, they learn something and they effectively put this in practice. For example, say some of my friends, anywhere in the world, not necessarily here in India also, and in other places, I see some of them are very serious. Whatever they learn, they put in practice. At least they attempt. This is so important. And then for us, what could be the reason why we learn something, we don't put in practice? It's because that the conviction is not coming. Conviction. So we need to build a conviction. How to build a conviction is the number one, that if your mind has so many things to do, naturally your mind would not be focused on one thing. So we need to see how to prioritize our works. What are the things which are not really significant? Brush them aside. And what are more significant, try to focus on those. So the number of things for us to do become less, and then our focus will be more. And then alongside the study, reflection, and particularly when you get a good picture of the bodhicitta, the overall picture of dharma, then the next part is to really go for a quality control. What is known as quality control of your mind. Say where things are not really happening. The quality control. This is so important. Okay. For this, we talk about the meditation. And this meditation, we need materials to meditate on. And how to build the materials is the conviction. We need to get the conviction, rich conviction should come to us. What practice are you doing? Practice of bodhicitta, practice of the wisdom of emptiness, practice of the awareness meditation, practice of the impermanence. Whatever you want to meditate, you must gain the conviction. For this conviction will come to us through the materials to reflect on. We need a lot of materials to reflect on. These materials will be gathered through your studies. It's not that, oh, I have whole library of the books, the Dharma books in my room. that is outside. It's not inside. We have to create these materials inside. Bring the materials inside. How? Only through studies, extensive studies, and that too systematic studies. So I'm very glad that people doing the Nalanda Master's course, batch 1 completed, almost like 6 years. The first batch completed, and now we're doing the second batch. And the Nalanda Diploma course, now we're doing the 4th batch. First batch, 1 year. On average, all the 4 batches is 1 year each. And many of them reported to me that it is of incredible benefit for them. And they see the meaning of life, very different meaning of life, and be able to utilize the life very productively in a very systematic way. So this is something which makes me so happy. And I really appreciate those people who could really see that there's a benefit from these great, the legacies of the great Nalanda Masters. Okay. For this, the studies is so important. So what you're doing here is a part of the studies. And then whatever little study that we do, I try to reflect on this more and then integrate them into your meditation. Okay. First, let me begin by sharing with you, say, in the monastery universities, say some of you have been there to observe. So what is the study pattern like, reflection, meditation like in the big monastery universities, like 2,000, 3,000 monk scholars. Nowadays, even the nunneries, they have good scholars there. This is amazing, very inspiring. It's all because of the blessings and the advice, the vision, the mission of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, that now the monks, nuns, not only the monks, the nuns, they're also becoming scholars. That's amazing. Great, say, the contribution and the kindness of His Holiness, the far vision of His Holiness, that this is now actually happening. And that yes, I personally feel so happy that the discrimination is same. It's not really said that, okay, nuns are inferior, monks are superior. No, but in real sense, like 100 years ago, 60 years ago, so we see that monk scholars, there are so many monk scholars there, but about nun scholars is almost like negligible. But now, because of His Holiness, say like 50 years ago, 40 years ago, His Holiness really emphatically advised the community that not only the monks, even the nuns must study the philosophy and psychology. He was so emphatic. And because of which, now the product of that, the fruit of that, after like 30, 40 years, now Geshe are coming up. This is extremely inspiring. So good that we talk about, say, the equality of the community. But where's equality? If we see that visibly, we see that the monk scholars, there are so many number, and the nun scholars so less in number, so less. Even one you cannot find, a real scholar, you cannot find. So this is this evident inequality. Although we may talk about equality, but it's not. There's no equality there. You can see it. And although there is no written form saying that, okay, nuns cannot study and so forth, but this is what is happening. So now, because of His Holiness, this is amazing. We should be extremely grateful to His Holiness that this is what is happening today. This is a magic. So with this, they say in the monastery universities, there, overall speaking, so what is that like? And then in this connection, I like to relate the bodhicitta, unconditional love for the bodhicitta, in the big monastery universities, where the monks, they debate on philosophy, logic, epistemology, and psychology. And particularly, on very special occasions, where thousands of monks come together, monk scholars come together, like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 monks come together, and like the, say, Geshe exams, their final Geshe exams after 16 years of intense studies. Then the exams, and you have to perform the exam in front of these 2,000, 3,000 monk scholars. And then everybody's watching you, your mental caliber, your the degree of your knowledge. They are just examining this. And so in all these debates, debate congregation, what happens is that it can sometimes go like 3 hours, 4 hours in stretch, beginning from the junior most class, and then to the gradually ascending to the higher classes, and then eventually reaching to the highest class. And then once the whole round is completed, again the second round can continue from the second round. Then how do you know that the debate is coming to an end? The whole session for this, the debate session for this particular, the session is coming to an end. How do you know that? Is that, say, suddenly the disciplinarian who's managing the debate, the session there, and that he would say identify one monk scholar, meaning a monk, young monk, from the Bodhicitta class. So all these classes, like 16 years of classes there. And so one class is specifically on Bodhicitta. So from Bodhicitta class, the students who are studying Bodhicitta, from there, the discipline will pick one monk, and then will they ask the monk to initiate the debate. And a monk goes there, a young monk goes there, and so from the heated discussion, debate going there, suddenly a new debate topic is brought in, young monk, and then the new topic, like say the very powerful wordings of Bodhicitta by Bodhisattva Shantideva or any other great masters. For example, like one verse which is so vivid to my mind, resounding to my ears, even today, after all these many years of being there in the monastery, is that security number chotabo mizan lutilane keveku rinchilina member guvena chanju simshi chawara densong. It says that security number chotabo mizan lutilane, having taken this impure body, that the body that we have obtained is very impure. Yes, it is prone to sickness, aging, hunger, thirst, illness, and so forth. And so impure, we have to, take shower every day. It's not that, you take shower for 1 week, and then so one day, and then for 1 week you are free. No, the next day, if you don't take shower again, something happens. So therefore, this is impure body that we obtained. Having obtained this, taken this impure body, but like the gold making elixir, which transforms the ordinary metals into the gold, this bodhicitta transforms this impure body, impure speech, and impure mind to the pure body, pure speech, and pure mind of the Buddhas. It transforms, this bodhicitta transforms the impure body, speech, mind into the invaluable, precious, the pure body, speech, mind of the Buddhas. Because of this bodhicitta turns out to be so precious. Hold it so dear to your heart. This is the wording. And the moment when the young monk stands up to recite this verse and throw this as a debate topic, instantly all the monks will get a feeling that, okay, get a sense now that the debate is coming to a stop. So that's the end of the evening debate. So all the monks instantly, they will all say, otherwise they were reflecting, say they were discussing with each other, and then they're listening to the people who throw the debate questions, listen to the answers given by the respondents, and then suddenly when they hear these verses, okay, now the debate is coming, then instantly everybody, literally everybody, say like 2,000, 3,000 monks there, they'll all just sit properly upright and then all go into their personal meditation on bodhicitta. They just think about the bodhicitta. Instantly, you could feel extremely the vigorous atmosphere there because of this debate. Suddenly becomes extremely serene, calm, extremely compassionate environment. You could feel that instantly, very profound. profoundly compassionate feeling of the atmosphere is created. Instead, all the monks, the young monks, and of course the seniors, instantly they go on their own meditation on bodhicitta. And then the young ones, they're seeing the elders, they also will sit properly, right? So this is how they develop this, the practice. Beautiful. So it's so beautiful. So this is where you can see this reflected in the monastic universities, where you go there, say, although in the debate courtyard, you see that some of the monks, they're pulling, pushing, and so forth, but deep inside at the core, there's so much of respect. There's so much reverence to this altruistic mind of the bodhicitta. So this, you could feel it. You go there, and there's a lightness, the lightheartedness in the minds of the monks there. You could feel that. Okay, this is so precious. So having said this, why do we have this class? This is the question. Why do we have to practice bodhicitta? So for this, the point is that you have some aspirations. For example, say we invest money in a stock market, or we, whatever we do, you invest time, you invest resources. There's a purpose behind this. So what is the purpose behind our attending this class or doing the study, reflection, meditation, bodhicitta? What's the purpose behind this? And the purpose, you can imagine that finally, for example, the Nadan Master's course and Nadan Diploma course here, Cultivating Tibet House, I see that there are many professors. They don't expect any extra the academic degrees. They're already very senior professors. They don't expect any academic degrees. Still, they are coming. They're coming. So what's the reason there? There should be a reason. They're looking for something. They're looking for something. There's a goal. What is that goal? If you cannot articulate it, it doesn't matter. We can broadly say that we are thinking of getting rid of our fears and to embrace happiness. Or if you're not happy with the word happiness, some people, they interpret happiness means a physical, the pleasure. This is so short-lived and is so ephemeral and is so meaningless. Whereas you say the happiness in the form of fulfillment, happiness in the form of profound ease of your mind. So these are things that we are seeking, and that's true. Irrespective of what gender that you are with, irrespective of that, we all look for these two things, and irrespective of what religion that you're following, irrespective of what ethnicity, irrespective of your what political situations or whatever affinity that you have, everybody seeks to get away from miseries and to embrace happiness. And the next question is, what degree of misery you want to get rid of, and what degree of happiness that you want to see. These are the points that we need to reflect on. And if possible, I know that you agree with me that if possible, 100% fulfillment, 100% ease, and 0 degree suffering, 0 degree misery is what we are seeking. I know that we all aspire the same. The next question, can we attain that? Is it achievable? This next question. These are the questions we must address. Because what I see is that even some of the scholars, some of the religious, they're from different traditions, they talk something so nice that they say we need to experience the ultimate happiness. We need to be staying away from miseries. But the one question is never addressed: how? How do we accomplish that? This is what is hardly addressed by many people. For example, I remember that one time in a reputed institution, they invited one scholar, an author, a very renowned author, and I was requested to chair the session for that talk by the renowned author. And the author gave 1-hour lecture, and in the end he said that finally, to gain the ultimate happiness, you need to have the communion with the ultimate. Let me repeat it. But it said that finally, to experience the ultimate happiness, you need to have the communion with the ultimate. And he did not explain how to have the communion with the ultimate. He never addressed this. Then they say, as a chair for this session, I said that your next book should be on how to have the communion with the ultimate. So this is what it means. This is where we are lacking. People talk about, oh, we have to do this, we have to do this. How? This is never addressed. So Bodhisattva Shantideva, and of course the Buddha, his teachings are so empirical, so realistic. This is amazing. You can analyze it. Any questions are being entertained, and pertaining to even the tiny details were being discussed. Say the Buddha taught something, and the audience, his disciples, they come up with even some very insignificant questions, and the Buddha addressed even those. He never said that, okay, you don't understand it. He never said like this. He gave the answers to all these the detailed questions. So the next question is that achievable? Infinite happiness, infinite fulfillment, or ease with zero miseries. Is that possible? Number one. If the answer is yes, the next question is how. Okay, so for this, I'm sure that you agree with me that let's say that squeezing a handful of sand, no matter how much you squeeze a handful of sand, don't expect oil coming out of that. How many agree with me, Rusense? Okay, good. However, squeezing a handful of sunflower seeds, oil does come out. How many agree with me, Rusense? Good. Now, what's the difference? This question. Where lies the difference? Say, if you want the oil, if you squeeze a handful of sand, no matter how much you squeeze, no matter how much effort that you put in, don't expect oil to come out of it. So likewise, the happiness that we're seeking, infinite happiness that we're seeking, if at all it should exist, if at all it should come out, we already experience, there must be potential inside us, like the handful of sunflower seeds. All the sunflower seeds per se, they are not oil, but they have the potential of the oil. Sand, on the other hand, it doesn't have the potential for oil. So likewise, do we have the potential for this infinite happiness? This is another question that if they address. If you don't have this potential, no matter how much you put effort, no happiness will come to us. So the Buddha's response is, yes, we all have this potential. Whether you're male, female, it doesn't matter. Whether you're from this religion, that religion, it doesn't matter. We all have this potential for the infinite happiness. Okay, the next, how do we know that? Once you know how do we know that, the next question is how to make it, how to unravel this, how to make it manifest. So these are the next questions. All these questions must be addressed. And then what should you do after addressing all these questions so successfully? You become so confident. What should you be doing? Again, back to square one, right? You lead your normal life. Again, anger, attachment, jealousy, and complications, complaints, or the problems with in your family, with the neighbor, the same person, or you're going to do slightly differently. This next question. So for this, some people, they go back. Some people, they change a little bit. So then the next part is after getting some degree of very systematic understanding that this is possible and there's a way by which to make it happen, after knowing this, still going back to square one, why that is, why the implementation is not happening. So for this, the next is that they say how to make it happen. How to make it happen? This is through, number one, environment. Environment is so important. Environment doesn't mean that, oh, I'm very unfortunate, I have a very bad environment, look at the neighbors, there's no hope. No, this environment, you have to create it. Don't expect the environment there where everyone is bodhisattvas, right? So everyone coming to you, what's your degree of the progress like, checking on you. And then if you say, oh, today is not too good, don't worry, we are there for you. Don't expect that. You have to create the environment. Okay. So for this, the question, the first we have to address these questions. Do we have this potential? So for this, I would suggest all of us to study Arya Nagarjuna's text on Dharma Dhatu Stava, in praise of Dharma Dhatu, in praise of the ultimate expanse. Here, the ultimate expanse refers to the Buddha nature, the seed of perfection within us. So when it says Buddha nature, Buddha, does not mean Buddhism. It means a fully awakened state. Anybody can be fully awakened. Male, female, third gender, or they say whatever ethnicity, whatever religion, whatever, say the country you're from, everyone has this capacity to be awakened. Buddha is simply Sanskrit word to refer to the awakened one. Anybody can be awakened. Okay, so first, to know that we are not like a handful of sand, instead of being like a handful of sunflower seeds. How do you know that? We have to study this text, Dharma Dhatu Stava, in praise of the Dharma Dhatu, in praise of the ultimate expanse. What is the ultimate expanse? You'll see the perfection within us. We have this ultimate expanse within us. When manifested fully, will manifest in the form of infinite happiness. Okay, and we have to study this. And we study this, and we must gain conviction in this. Okay, for this matter, what I would say is that let me share what Arya Nagarjuna taught in some different wordings. That the true nature of mind. These examples, you take these examples, and later on, through your own experience, see that if your mind really fits with this example, really goes well with this example, to the nature of mind, it really takes the form of how the example explains. It is like the light. The light, say there's the total dark room, and they say you light a candle there, a very bright candle flame there, and cover it with the vase. So the whole room still remains dark, but there's a light inside. And if the light is there inside, why does it not lit outside? It's because this light is obscured by this light is restricted. This light is restricted from manifesting its true nature. What's the true nature? The true nature of this light is not to be stopped by any factors, to just flow spontaneously. It flows to all directions. And this is the true nature of this light. If that's the case, why it is not manifesting this quality? Because there's something which is obstructing this true nature to manifest. What is that? The picture, the vase, blocks the light from manifesting its true nature or pervading to every corner of the house. Okay, so our mind, if our mind is like this light to flow without being obstructed to every atom of the universe, to know every mind of the sentient beings, if this is true nature of mind, why does it not manifest? Why don't it manifest? Why does it not manifest this nature? Because that is being blocked by something. What is that thing? That is the mental defilements. So our job is to remove the mental defilements so that the mind will manifest in its true form, to pervade everywhere without any obstruction or not being hampered by any factors. So there's free flow of the mind to every atom of the universe. This is known as the infinite ease. Ease infinitely, because it flows to the infinite space. So that is not the infinite ease. This is amazing. And yet, who experienced that? In the history of humanity, was there anybody who experienced it? Yes. 2,500 years ago, there was the Prince Siddhartha who experienced that. And what about those arhats? Shariputra, Mughaliana, and then the arhat, Mahakashyap, the first heir of the Bodhichitta Muni, Mahakashyap, and so forth, the arhat Upali, and later on, arhat Ananda. Did they experience this infinite ease? They did not. Then what is that? They attain arhatship, they attain liberation. What is that liberation? That is slightly different. Their mind, same, it is like, same, their mind, how the mind of the Buddha flows to every atom of the universe flawlessly. Whereas the arhats, their mind, they are not obstruct. For example, their mind is more like, say, the people, when you are in the airport, then you want to go for window shopping, right? So the merchandise, you will not actually actively go there to buy the merchandise, but you'll go for window shopping. Window shopping means that your mind is trapped by these beautiful objects in these shops, but you will not buy this. Some people, they're glued to this. I have to buy this. I have shopaholics. I have to buy this. I have to shop. I have to buy this. I have to buy this. That's one thing. Other one, so which means the object directly, your mind actually is glued to the objects. Number two is your mind is not glued to the objects, but the sight, appearance-wise, you are still, you get stuck there with appearance. So one is where the mind gets stuck by the appearance, and the other, the mind is stuck by getting glued there too. So misconceptions, there are two. One misconception is misconception related to the appearance. Other one is misconception related to the apprehension, that your mind goes to apprehend the object in a mistaken way. So there are two misconceptions happening there. And the Buddha, when you become a Buddha, you eradicate both misconceptions. Misconception related to the grasping as things as truly real, and a misconception related to the appearance. You get rid of both the misconceptions. That is when your mind flawlessly flows to every atom of the universe. Whereas your mind may be, you may become like not a shopaholic. You may become like the winter shopping person. You go to do winter shopping, you are not glued to the object, but your eyesight is temporarily glued to the appearance. Oh, there's this object, there's this object, there's this item, there's this. But your mind is not really glued. So apprehension-wise, you're freed, but appearance-wise, still the appearance, the misperception related to the appearance. Misappearance happens. So arhats, they're freed from apprehending things objectively real, but on the appearance level, they still have the misperception on the level of the appearance. Because of this, their mind cannot flow freely. They're obstructed by the misperceived appearance. But when you become a Buddha, then not only that your mind is freed from apprehending things as objectively real, even the misperception or mistake with respect to appearance also disappears, so that there's nothing, no stain to stop you. It flows so freely. That is known as the infinite. This is the time where your mind manifests its true nature, not being sullied, not being polluted by any pollutants. That is when you become enlightened. It's because of this that the masters, they say that you are a Buddha. You have a Buddha. Your mind has the Buddha. So meaning that this is your true nature. So what the limitations that we demonstrate, these are not your true nature. These limitations are created by the other factors, the mental defilements. You remove them, then the mind will manifest its true nature. So these are the brilliant, say the extremely valuable, the insights taught by Arya Nagarjuna in his text, Dharmatadastava. Okay, we'll stop here. We'll come in 1 hour. Okay, we'll recite the Heart Sutra mantra. Eto Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhi Swaha. Okay, we'll come back in 1 hour.
Thank you, Geshe. Thank you, everybody. See you at 11:30 Israel time and 2 o'clock India time.